or interesting area of your life. As well as being a great opportunity to sharpen your presentation skills, 4sights are another fabulous way to raise your profile. So if you're a member and you want to present to this group, please have a chat with Katie after the meeting. Today we have Cros from blankety blank, Cros from Cros.
Crosstown.
With the 4sight entitled Always on My Mind.
Hold the applause. Okay, this 4sights, this is the second one that I've done. They're a bit difficult for me, 20 minutes, because my short talks used to be 6 hours. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to busk it to try and tell you as much as I can about why you do what you do, but more importantly why you don't do what you should do. So I'm going to go through it and try and explain to you exactly what's going on in your mind. And the first question I want to ask all of you, and think very deeply, how many people in the room have got a very, very, very clear image of what they want to achieve in their life? Okay. Those who kept their hands down are being very honest with themselves, and those who got their hands up are delusional. Purely and simply because you have not got a vision of where you want to be in your life. You've got a vision of where you think you can be in your life. There's a total difference, because what we do is we have things what we call limiting beliefs. Okay? Now when we arrive here, a lot of people might be wondering why I've drawn this. When we arrive here as a newborn baby, our programming is perfect for success. Nothing is going to take us away from our vision of success. And you can all remember when you were a child, when you were a cowboy or a nurse or a train driver, and you didn't actually just think you were a nurse or a train driver. You were actually there. You weren't in your front room. You were actually on the train, smelling the smoke from the steam engine, and you were driving along and you were living it. Okay? But what happens during our life? We get that taken away from us. So we're the perfect vehicle for success. And this is anyone, well, no one has seen it before, but this is your brain. Okay? And this is your...
Or kidney vein.
That is your conscious mind. Okay? Now let me ask you a question. We live, everything we do is in pictures. So if I ask you a question now, or not a question, now I just say the word dog. Every one of you has got a picture of a dog. You haven't got the letters D-O-G, you've actually got a picture of a dog. But guess what? Everyone in this room has got a picture of a different dog, right? Because of the association, it's you're either thinking of a pet that you've had, a pet that you've got, a dog that bit you, or something else. So you think in pictures. We don't think in words, okay? So it's very important that we have pictures to make us think properly. Now, the least that you say, if I say dog, everyone's got a different picture. But if I say to you, grey elephant, wearing a bobble hat, with a pink tutu on, we've all got basically the same picture, right? One might have an Indian elephant with small ears or an African elephant with big ears, but basically we've got an elephant with a tutu, okay? So as you can see, we can control what we think, and the more information that we take on, the more we can think. Does that make sense so far? Mm-hmm. Right. So what happens in the media, our friend up there will realise this about the media, is they control us. Totally control us. When we were having the big episode with the immigrants, all of a sudden the media come up with a picture of a young child being taken out of the water, and all of a sudden we all go, we get the nice things about the immigrants, okay? Now there's a problem We're getting all the fact that they're coming out of the jungle and throwing bricks through people's windows and wrecking it. So we're totally controlled, our beliefs are totally controlled by what we're told. And the more we're told, the more we believe. But recently, we had a situation where we had overload of fear and loathing. During the Brexit campaign, we actually rejected a lot of information that was given to us by people that we normally trust. The media. Anyway, so what happens? All through our life, we're programmed. And when we're a baby, have you heard these saying, he's just like a sponge. He actually takes on everything. And that's true. So all the time we're growing up, we've got mum and dad giving us information. Don't swallow your chewing gum, it'll lay in your stomach for 10 years. You make sure you're in by 10 o'clock because the bogeyman will get you. Right? And all this is going in and we're taking it all on board. And then later in life, we meet Bill up the pub. Right? He'll give you a bit of advice. Bill up the pub. There, drinking his pint of Guinness. Let's put him over here. There's Bill up the pub. And you're going in there, Grant, with your plans for a house that you're just having built. And Bill will come up to you and go, well, what you got there, Grant? Picture of a house? Tell you what, I wouldn't build that wall there, Grant. I'll do this, I'll do that. And all of a sudden, Bill's got plenty to say, and it's all going in. It's all going in. And then we got one of my favourites. If it were me, what I'd do this. If it were me, I'd have more one-on-ones at these meetings. If it were me, I'd do this, I'd do that. So, and it's all going in, it's all coming into this part of our mind, okay? And then we've got the lovely one, I'm gonna. He's lovely. He's the one you say, give us Sam, will you? Yeah, I'm just gonna do something and I'll be right back. He never comes back. Anyway, so all this information is going in. And the teacher at school, let's put the teacher in there. Big smile on his face because he's teaching you a load of rubbish. But anyway, all of a sudden, all this information's going on. Now, when you're growing up, the only criteria that you've got for letting that information in is that the figure, your parents, the teacher, someone you trust, Bill up the pub, all these people are telling you things, right, because they think they're protecting you, okay? They're telling you for your own good. Don't trust them people, the rich people are different to us. Oh no, filthy, stinking rich, and all words like that are all going in and they're all coming in here. Now, what happens sometimes as young as 20, 25, you realise something magical happens in your brain whereby your conscious mind now starts to reject or accept information. Right? So what happens when someone like me comes along and starts giving you some information that's possibly going to change your life because it's going to free your thinking up? You start, the information goes in here and you go, how does it work? And to find out your answer, you come down into this area here, which is full of information given to you by people who ain't got a clue what they're saying. Right? So you're basing your answers now on information that is given to you by people that haven't got a clue. All this information here has been given to you and gone in without any rejection or any filtration at all. So this bit here is totally full of wrong information. So you're now trying to make decisions based on the wrong information. Okay? So until such time as you can actually get the information through your conscious mind into your subconscious mind, nothing happens. And when you say to people, do you believe that? And they go, yeah. But they believe it in their conscious mind. But nothing happens until you get down here. Because this bit, this area here, the subconscious, is where you go for all your answers. Okay? So, as I said, when you're growing up, you have the program for success, okay? And your mind then, as I say, you could visualise anything, you could do anything, it didn't matter. So there's a little area in your subconscious that I call the play area, okay? Now the play area is the area that comes into play when you're relaxed. So how many of you can identify with this? When you go on holiday, you're lying on the beach and you're thinking of all the things that are going on at home, all the situations that are looking for solutions, someone said that, all the situations that are looking for solutions. You're lying there on the beach sunning yourself, and what happens? Your subconscious mind in a relaxed state solves every single problem. Have you ever had that? You're lying there? Who's had that? You can talk to me. I'm medically trained. Anyway, so there you are lying there on the beach and everything is being solved. Right? In this part of the brain that works, it's the part that's left over from when you were a child, and it's giving you all the answers. When you come back off holiday, right, you've got all the solutions to every single problem that you've got. And as you walk in back into the airport, ping! Oh, I wonder what happened about that. I wonder if the dog was all right in the kennels. I wonder if the business was all right. And all these problems, right, that you had solutions for, are slowly going away, because what you're doing is you're wandering back into the conscious mind, okay, that doesn't believe this area here, because this area here is going into this part of your subconscious for answers. So when you're totally relaxed, right, you will find a solution for everything. When you're stressed, you won't find a solution for anything at all. Okay? So that's the first thing that you've got to realise, is that when you're relaxed, you will make the best decisions. When you're actually stressed, you won't make any good decisions at all. So what you've got to do, you've got to have a clear picture. We talked earlier who had a vision of where they're going. Now, if you actually create your vision of what you want, you'll find it quite a difficult thing to do, because you start rejecting, because you will only allow things to happen that you know how to get the solution. Now, you don't need a vision if you can do what you think you want. All you need is a plan. Does that make sense? You don't need a vision. You just need to say, oh, well, I want that. I know how to do it, because all the information from this useless information tells me I can get there. So what you need to do is you need to get a very, very clear picture of what you want and where you want to go. Now, I don't want to get airy-fairy, but there is, I believe, a power that controls all this. I don't think all what happens in the world gets by accident. I don't put any religious connotations on it at all, but I do firmly believe there is a power, because every single time that you know where you're going, the universe puts opportunities in your path, okay? And that is because you're aware of them. Now, if you know where you're going, okay, it doesn't matter. Obviously that's the quickest way. This is where you want to get to, and this is where you are, all right? And every single time that you go off track, provided that you know where you're going, you can always get on track. But most people, they wonder why they're confused and they're not getting the success that they deserve. And it's simple. They don't know where they're going. Does that make sense? People are wandering around, just wandering around in the days, and if you don't know where you're going and you come off track, any road will do, won't it? They could all be dead ends. But if you know where you're going, you can always come back on track. So, you know where you're going, and that has got to be clear. It's not a case of wishy-washy. Actually do it, live it, believe it. And people say, well, how do you do that? How can you actually get into the spirit of that? Well, when you go on holiday, and you look at a brochure, you don't look at that brochure with all the palm trees and the beach and everything like that and think of it pouring with rain, do you? You think of it being sunny. So you can actually look into the future and live it now. And that's basically the theory behind what you've got to do. But you see, the biggest problem, once you find out where you're going, you've got to know where you are. And people forget about knowing where they are and being at peace with where you are and knowing exactly where you are. Because, so what's so important about knowing where you are? Well, of course it's important. If you don't know where you are, you'll never find where you're going. If you were taken here, from here, to Edinburgh, say, and dropped it blindfolded and dropped into a field, you're not told you're in Edinburgh, you're not told where you are, and you know where Sale Golf Club is, you'll never find it, will you? Because you don't know where you are. So people don't realise how important it is to find out where you are, because until you know where you are, you'll never get to where you want to go. So make sure that you're at peace with where you are. And the biggest problem that we have is that we got our little friend here. Right. There's our little friend. Now, he knows where he's going. Okay? But he keeps looking back. Every time he makes a decision, he's looking back into the past of all the things that went wrong. Okay? So he's not actually got a clear run to get where he's going. He's making it difficult. He's looking at the past, all the things that went wrong in his life, he's bringing them into play. So what you've got to do is you've got to make now where you want to be. Alright? Does that make sense or not?
Yep.
A lot of blank faces. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Really? Okay. So let me just do one last drawing. As I say, I busted it a bit today because normally we take this over 6 hours. And if you are interested in finding out any more about how your mind works and how you can actually put stuff into your brain, clear the rubbish out and do it, you will find that once you actually do that, your business will grow so quick because you're limiting your business based on what you think you can do rather than what you actually can do. So let's just have a look. And this is what I'm saying about, I think there's a power. And this is just the last little illustration for you to do it. And people say, why is that person more successful than me? They're doing exactly the same business as me. They're doing everything supposedly the same as me. But they're getting a result, getting the good income and the business is going well, and I'm not. So imagine this power is an electric cable. Limitless power. Most people are down here at 25 watts. That's all they're taking, right? But you look up the road and there's a guy up there taking 500 watt, right? Why is he taking 500 watt? Because he can. But down here you don't realise that it's available. And then all of a sudden up here you've got someone taking 1,000 watt. The likes of your Richard Bransons and all the people that are successful in life, because no one's told them there was a limit. And there isn't. There's an abundance of everything, and all you've got to do is tap in to that power and you can take as much as you need. But what you do, because of your programming, you limit yourself to 25 watt. Alright? Now that's a bit of a jiggly piggly, but I hope you got a little something there. And if you want to know more, as I say, we've got a full day of Nutty Cross in Kenilworth.
If it gets there.
On the 7th. Thank you.
One, possibly two questions. Anyone's got a question for Cross? How do you define success?
I don't define success.
No,
My definition of
personally,
success,
in general.
and this is what I tell everyone, my definition, but you've got to get your own definition of success. My definition of success is to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, and have the time and money to allow me to do it. Right? As I say to most people, success is getting yourself a residual income in your dotage, right? Spending as much money as you can on the way through, because I'm actually coaching and mentoring a guy at the moment who's 64 years old, just about to retire with a shitload of money, and he's frightened to death to spend any of it. Because all the way through he had a miserly poverty mindset, and he stored all the money, didn't enjoy himself on the way through, because he kept saying, oh, when I get to there I'll be alright because I'll have a big pile of money, and now he's got a big pile of money and he can't spend it. So what you've got to do, one of the secrets of success, is make sure you spend a few quid on the way through. Alright? Because otherwise you end up and you don't know what to do when you get there.
Well, there goes your dream.